Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Brews with Brian, a craft beer review podcast. Craft beer is beer that is brewed in smaller breweries, not these big corporate machine breweries that we're all aware of. Craft beer is made with patience and time, and the people that brew this stuff cares about the product they are delivering to us, the consumer. On this week's episode, I'm reviewing Old Rasputin from North Coast Brewing Company, Snake Handler Double IPA from Good People Brewing Company, and Andygator from Abita Brewing Company. So let's kick this show off. And first up on today's show is Old Rasputin from North Coast Brewing Company out of Fort Bragg, California. Old Rasputin has an ABV of 9% and a year-round availability. The description from the website says, produced in the tradition of 18th century English brewers who supplied the court of Russia's Catherine the Great, Old Rasputin seems to develop a cult following wherever it goes. It's a rich, intense brew with complex flavors and a warming finish. This beer pours pitch opaque black with a large tan head that sticks around and leaves some lacing behind. Aromas of lots of bitter dark chocolate and roasted malt on the nose, along with some hints of coffee. Tasting this beer, it follows the nose, dark chocolate and cocoa, along with tons of roasted barley and malt, followed by hints of bitter coffee. A little bit of smokiness and wood is there as well. This is a full-bodied beer with a lower to moderate amount of carbonation, and it's smooth and rich. Overall, this is an incredible, solid, and well-rounded Russian Imperial Stout. It's straightforward, but very good. It's one of my favorite Russian Imperial Stouts that I've been drinking here recently. So you gotta try it, gotta find it, seek it out. You will not be disappointed. But overall, I'm going to give Old Rasputin from North Coast Brewing Company 4 stars. And next up on the show, we have Snake Handler Double IPA from Good People Brewing Company out of Birmingham, Alabama. Snake Handler has an ABV of 10% and a year-round availability. The description from the website says, this double IPA is a spirited celebration of all things hoppy. Aromas of pine, citrus, flowers, spice, pineapple, and grassiness complement a biscuit and caramel backbone. This beer pours moderately hazy and cloudy with like a medium orange amber color with a 1 to 2 finger, fairly dense and rocky off-white head with a great retention that reduces to a nice cap that lingers. Nice dense foamy lacing clings on the glass with a fair amount of streaming carbonation. Aromas of big ruby red grapefruit, tangerine, lemon, peach, pear, pineapple, apricot, passion fruit, mango, melon, berries, wood, mint, toasted biscuit, herbal and floral grassiness. It's just damn nice aromas with a great balance and complexity of citrus, fruity, tropical, and earthy hops, dark bready malts with great strength. Taste of big ruby grapefruit, tangerine, lemon, peach, pear, pineapple, mango, berries, peppercorn, wood, caramel, toasted biscuit, herbal and floral, and grassy earthiness, moderate pine and citrus, and floral grassy bitterness on the finish, lingering notes of grapefruit, tangerine, lemon, peach, pear, pineapple, passion fruit, and berries. It has an awesome complexity, robustness, and balance of citrus and tropical earthy hops and dark bready malts with an awesome malt and bitterness balance and no sweetness after the finish at all. It has moderate increasing dryness from the bitterness. It's medium carbonation and medium full body with a very smooth, creamy, grainy, sticky mouthfeel, and it's fantastic. Minimal warming because of the alcohol at 10%, but overall this is an awesome double IPA, all around great complexity, robustness, and balance of citrus, fruity, tropical, earthy hops, and the dark bready malts. It's very smooth and dangerously easy to drink, especially with that big ABV. But it's a really enjoyable offering, an impressive classically hopped style example. So overall, I'm giving Snake Handler Double IPA from Good People Brewing Company 5 stars. And the last beer on today's show is Andygator from Abita Brewing Company out of Abita Springs, Louisiana. Andygator has an ABV of 8% and a year-round availability. The description from the website says, Andygator, a creature of the swamp, is a unique high-gravity brew made with pale malt, German lager yeast, and German hops. Unlike other high-gravity brews, Andygator is fermented to a dry finish with a slightly sweet flavor and subtle fruit aroma. Reaching an alcohol strength of 8% by volume, it is a Helles Doppelbock. This beer pours a dark golden color. It's crystal clear. Thin white head dissipates steadily, leaving a thin head on the as a cap. Aromas has notes of sweet bready malts, some toasted fresh bread, and a hint of sweet corn. There is a faint whiff of spicy, earthy hops, but the malts are predominant. Now, the taste is interesting. It's like a monster Pilsner. You've got a strong Pilsner malt backbone with some herbal, flowery hops coming through. Definite spiciness is noted in the flavor. Bready malts, along with some sweetness throughout. I do get that sweet corn that I got on the nose also in the flavor, but it's not super strong. Some alcoholic notes come through on the back end. It's somewhat sweet, but it does have a drier finish that cuts down on the overall sweetness. It's a medium bodied beer. It's got a lot of carbonation. It's semi-dry finish with a nice touch of the alcohol burn. But overall, this is an interesting beer. It's like the double IPA of lagers for the lager drinkers. I'm not sure that I'd have this beer again, but it was well worth having at least once just to say you tried it. So overall, I'm going to give Andygator from Abita Brewing Company 3 stars. And that is going to do it for this week's episode of Brews with Brian. I want to thank everybody for listening. The show continues to grow each and every week. On this week's episode, I reviewed Old Rasputin from North Coast Brewing Company, Snake Handler Double IPA from Good People Brewing Company, and Andygator from Abita Brewing Company. Now you can check the show out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. So make sure to tell all your other friends that drink beer to check out the show. Make sure they like and subscribe and comment where they feel they need to. I want to give a special shout out again to Southern Package in Sheffield, Alabama. It's the only place I buy my craft beer. They're wonderful people. If you live in the North Alabama area, check them out. They'll treat you right. You will not be disappointed. But that's going to do it for this week's episode, and we'll see you next time.